witches, and welcome back to Activist Witch, where we discuss witchcraft and activism. You can call me Isha, my pronouns are she, they. And today's video, as you can tell, is going to be a bit different, but I'm going to show you, step by step, how I do a spell, my entire spell crafting, and also how I do it when I'm away from home. But before we get started, let me remind you that I've opened a Ko-fi, which is an alternative to Patreon that takes less from creators. And on there you can do a one-off donation, a monthly donation, or even buy a tarot reading with me Italian style. The low-income option starts at £5 onwards. And if you decide to support me there, thank you so very much. Also, until the end of April, there's going to be time to join the GoFundMe in support of medical aid for Palestinians. Every £5 entry is an entry to the prize draw, amongst which there are also my own tarot readings. When you do a donation, don't forget to send a screenshot to witchesforpalestine@gmail.com, and that will be your entry for the prize draw. Every £5 donation assigns you a number. Don't forget to send your screenshot in though. Also, save the date for the 28th of April, because something magical is about to happen with all the people involved with Witches for Palestine. Stay tuned! Now, if you're curious about how I personally cast a spell, come along. As you might know from Instagram, I've been away for a few days in a cottage in West Wales. Due to planetary elections, specifically the last bit of sun in Aries, I wanted to work a success and prosperity spell for the Thursday, day of Jupiter, associated with everything that requires growth and expansion and money, of course. And I picked the hour of the sun. That's the planet that rules personal success, and that is still in Aries, so it was very well dignified. As you know, I calculate dignities and abilities, and I made a specific video about that if you like to check it out, so I'm not gonna waste time here. But suffice to say, I picked that day because of planetary elections. That's the first bit of me casting a spell, finding the perfect timing that I can actually perform a spell in. Now, materials. I was planning on using just 2 candles and a bay leaf, and even just that would have been more than enough. However, while in the village that I was staying at, I found a charity shop that was selling crystals, and so I got 6. 2 tiger's eye, they are a correspondence for success, 2 pyrite for money, fool's gold, and 2 quartz cluster to amplify magic. It also seemed a good way to sort of give back to the land that I was in, you know, donating to a local cause and a charity shop. And then I actually found also a witchy shop, so I got some incense to cleanse the stuff. You always should support your local witch. And then in a local shop, I found the perfect tea light holder, which will go so well with the vintage style of my ancestor altar. So I got it for that. But that's actually when I realized, I have something for each element. I can actually make an altar for this spell. So first I clean the table and pass the incense over. Then I set up, passing everything through the incense first. I got the rocks on the north side for earth, the incense on the east for air, the tea light on the south for fire, and just a glass of water in the west for water. I place the candles in the center of the elements with the crystal clusters on each side, and the bay leaves with a pencil on the side. Before I started though, I realized that I had a tarot deck with me, and I could use the cards in the spell. I did it once before with the Tower card, and it worked like a charm. The energy that I want to attract in this case is the one of the 6 of Wands for success and the 6 of Pentacles for generosity, so having so much money that I can support those in need around me. So I placed the 6 of Wands in front of the orange candle for success and the 6 of Pentacles in front of the golden candle for money. Later on, I will actually move the crystal cluster on top of the cards in front of the candles. So first I performed the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. I didn't have much room, so I just mostly visualized myself moving in a circle that enveloped my working area, whilst in reality I turned on the spot. If you'd like a video, by the way, of me just performing the LBRP, let me know. Then, with everything clear, I called the guardians of the watchtowers to amplify and protect my magic. I called upon my deities, especially Venus, to help me. She has been very supportive in the areas of life that can lead me to success and economic stability, so she's the one that I specifically asked for help on this. I lit the candles and I held my hands around them while visualizing what success and prosperity will look for me. Now, at some point during my spells, while I meditate, I usually reduce my objective to a mantra of a few words, and I start repeating them endlessly, either out loud or in my head. When the visual of the objective is clear, I write the words, in this case success and prosperity, on the bay leaf. And then I burn it to release its energy into the universe. A heat-safe container is a must. Tongs too, but I didn't have them and I was just lucky. Usually between the visualization and imbuing energy through my hand to the objects of the spell lasts for the time of a spell candle, so about 60 to 90 minutes. Here, at around the 1 hour mark, the breeze was getting chilly, so I closed the spell by extinguishing the candles, thanking the guardians of the watchtowers and giving them leave, and then I simply stated, "This happens because it is my will. I now leave this space as I found it." With using the LBRP as a circle, I am told it doesn't exactly need undoing, but I'm still testing out different things. In my home, I would have been comfortable doing a lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram, and then perform the spell, and then doing a lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. But because I didn't know the area that I was in well enough, the LBRP seemed the safest option, so that only my deities and ancestors came through because I explicitly invited them. So, because I'm autistic, while the splendid footage of West Wales plays on, here's a bullet list of all the steps that I take to organize, plan and perform a spell. Check timings and planetary elections corresponding to the area that I want the spell to affect. Decide on materials for the spell, colors and items, sometimes candles and petition paper is enough. On the day of the spell, cleanse myself, even just washing my hands before the spell, clean and cleanse the space I will perform the spell in, cleanse every item that will be on the altar with incense, or work area for the spell, doesn't need to be an altar. When I have everything is clean and ready, either ground, center and cast a circle, or the LBRP. The LBRP covers grounding and centering, at least the way that I perform it anyway. Call upon the guardians of the watchtowers for elements and directions. They're gonna protect and amplify magic. Call upon deities and ancestors for support. Visualize the result of the spell and infuse the intention into the spell tools, such as candles, or bay leaves, or paper. Light candles and keep visualizing the result. Once I reduce my objective to a couple of words, I write those on petition paper or bay leaf to burn and release into the universe. I use the spell candles for that to connect their energies. I keep meditating and visualizing the outcome until the candles burn out. I thank the deities and ancestors and give them leave. I thank and release the guardians of the watchtowers. I leave this space as I found it. Either I dismantle the circle or I do an LBRP. By the way, this was Solva, and I love it because it's actually where the Yogi Witch, Bethany, is from. And accidentally, I also found the studio when I was catching the bus going back to where we were staying. So Bethany, if by any chance you watch this, I love you, thank you, bye! I hope this helps and this gives you a good idea of what spellcrafting looks like for someone else. And if you feel like sharing your methods, I do look forward to hear those in the comments. And until the next video, I hope that we can hex the patriarchy together, because there's need for it.